Yep. And who calls souls into creation?
The soul does it to the spirit does it to the soul. So you do it to yourself essentially, but you as a spirit does it to you as a soul.
So
We just want
why?
apologies, Nick. We just want to add one important thing.
Yep.
You don't lose your spirit when you become a soul. You remain perfect as spirit, and you create the illusion of division from spirit when you become soul. I hope that makes sense.
Yes. So is Unity boring because it's just a perfect sphere where nothing happens?
It's definitely not boring. It's far more exciting than your experience. Think of it like this: you only get to experience three dimensions of excitement. We experience seven, eight, or nine dimensions of excitement. So, just by that measure, it's far more complex. And complexity brings a lot of nuance when it comes to fun and what you're interested in.
And you have more power to change your reality.
Yes, infinitely more. That's why it's more fun, actually.
I'm
That's one reason.
sure. I'm sure it is. Uh, my last question on this topic is there the differentiation in Unity. How does it differ from our experience of differentiation?
What do you mean by the word?
It's like individuality.
There is no individuality in unity. Everyone is a part of everyone else. And we believe Elysium has explained that we're all one Titan. We all operate within each other's dreams.
Yes, but how can you have like an experience at all if you don't have some individuality?
Think of an octopus for simplicity. Each octopus has eight legs, and each leg has its own experience of life. It's not sharing space with any other leg, and it has its own individual nerves, circulatory, let's call them veins and arteries, and it has its own skin tissue. It goes through different parts of the water than the other legs, even though it's on a minuscule scale. But they're all part of one octopus, the central cortex of that octopus. So it's a little bit like that.
Yeah. So why have separate legs of the octopus?
To create the illusion of individuality, even though it's all one unified field.
Yeah. So this illusion of individuality, does it perpetuate eternally?
It does, yes. And God is the original source of all tentacles, let's just say.
So souls do have an a identity that persists eternally.
Well, the identity is God, ultimately. That is a true identity that all lives share in common.
And who created God
God created themselves
and why?
for fun, most likely, but we can only speculate.
Will God ever find out?
Did you say find out?
Yeah.
Well, they already know, of course. They know everything.
So they say. Thank you. Yeah.
You're welcome.
The the I have some questions. I'm Shane, and then
Hello,
it's
Shane.
Larissa and Magdalene.
Yes.
Does the soul fractals in Elysium is less than unity?
Does it fractalize less in Elysium than it does in Unity?
Yes. I'm sorry, in duality.
Yes, of course. 50% less, actually.
50% less. Okay.
Yes, because unity becomes duality when you divide it by two.
Okay. But okay. So the source does fractionalize still in unity.
No, you're contrasting quinteraxion duality to unity
Elysium.
Elysium.
Yeah. Yes.
There is
Okay.
some form of separation in Elysium, it's true, but it's
Yes.
not as contrasted as it is in Quinterax.
Got you. So, how souls uh evolve in Elysium? Do they? I don't, we understand there is a black crystals and there's white crystals, and there might something in between. Do they have war? Do they have love? This kind of stuff?
They have everything that you have, but they don't have as many limits as you do. And they can't experience the darkest of emotions that you feel here on Earth either. And you can't feel the lightest of emotions here either, as well, actually.
Hmm. You mean the dark crystals can experience the light in Elysium, is that right? They only experience the dark.
Well, the dark beings and the light beings are one and the same. They're in the same body. But there's a contrast towards their actions, their thoughts, their beliefs. And that contrast is what battles from within oneself, the choices that one makes, the actions that one takes, and the dreams that one has to create for other beings that are of lower dimensional nature.
Mm. So, so if I'm the dark crystals in Elysium and I want to grow and I want to experience the darkness, everything I receive in my ascension in Elysium gonna be dark. Is that right?
It's impossible to have that fully dark experience. Just one moment, please. We need to adjust something. Can you say something?
Yeah. Can you hear?
We don't know why there's any feedback, but we apologize for it. And we hear you just fine.
Sure. Okay. So you just said it's impossible for any beings to experience 100% of their uh polarity. Is that right?
No, we didn't say 100% of the polarity, but you cannot have a pure light life or a pure dark life. The pure light and the pure darkness are existent together. They're in
Mm,
balance, they're harmonized
mm,
together.
mm.
Two fields of one a vortex.
Okay. Okay. My next question is regarding uh the female um and the male. Uh, it seems that you're female, feminine energy. Is that right?
Feminine, but not female.
What's the difference?
The difference is we do not have gender because we do not have organs like that.
Oh, okay. But in the energy wise, in Elysian unity, there's still masculine and feminine energy. Is that
Yes,
right?
that's right.
Oh, okay. And the divine masculine and the feminine thing still applies to Elysian. That's what the beings working for, trying to ascend.
Some of them are working for that forces, yes.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
It's quite
Um,
complex to understand because
yeah,
it's very rare for a human to exhibit divine attributes or traits. You may not
that's
even know what you would have to contrast, but perhaps Captain America or something of this nature, Aragon from Lord of the Rings, perhaps would be the divine masculine figure, someone like this.
that's true. Mm. Can you elaborate what is the energy of love? Where is it came from and what's eventually is that?
What eventually is that? Well, we'll say that love is an energy, an emanation of the creator's light, more or less one shade of a rainbow that's emitted from a white light that the creator emits into your reality, and you interpret it as a good feeling. So that's what love is energetically. You translate that good feeling into different things. It influences your hormones. It causes you to have attraction and resistance to others that love you. It's quite complex to explain what it is in full. But essentially, love is a particle of God that you experience that allows you a spectrum of emotions within the state of love.
So love is higher, is much higher than just the emotions.
It is one of the emotions. It is a dimension higher than your average emotions in the fourth dimension. That's why it feels better. It feels higher than others, but it's just it's a monad of several different emotions in the third dimension. That's all it is.
Hmm.
But it's still an emotion technically.
Hmm. Does the spirit love each other?
Definitely is. And they love itself as well.
And they also hate each other?
Sometimes they do.
Yeah.
Because just as easily as you can love yourself or hate yourself, and Elysium I can as well.
Hmm. Thank you. Uh, that's all for me. Larissa?
Let's just say this: between loving yourself and hating yourself, there's typically a lot of actions that occur between this point and that point. So if you listen to too much of the Matrix, you may begin to hate yourself. Or perhaps you're looking at too many other people that are too far away from realistic. And that distorts your perceptions. And then you start to dislike your figure because it's not like the figure of these distorted people that are not normal. They're outliers, essentially. And you take the outlier as this is the standardized successful model. And if that is what it is, then that means I'm not successful based off my looks. And if that's the case, you might find yourself unattractive or have low self esteem or self love. So, this is something that should be considered.
Thank you.
Greetings, Golden. This is Larissa.
Greetings, Larissa.
I have a question about the white domain
Yeah.
again.
Yes.
Can you just explain a little more about, I know what we can do there. I know we discussed that, but can you explain it more about mm, maybe what, I mean, I know it's a matrix that you've set up, but
It is.
can you explain more about that?
About what part of it?
Um, I guess I'm curious. So if you've created this, essentially this matrix, this room that we can go into, is it just whatever comes to our head appears? Is that how it is?
Well, that's typically how your consciousness or your imagination works. But what we do is we extend a bubble, almost like blowing a bubble of chewing gum into the bubble of your matrix. But we don't do this into, let's say, it's quite difficult to explain. We do this in your head. We do this in your mind, which is not in your head necessarily, where your brain is. It is in your consciousness. It's not, it's in the matrix, but it's not in the matrix. It's in your mind more than it's in the matrix. We hope that makes sense. It's very impossible to explain, really. But as we blow this bubble, it allows you to have a safe space where you can practice, where you can exercise your rights to be divine and be white. Let's just say white meaning absent of darkness for a moment, so that you can truly discard the heaviness for a brief moment before you return back to your cells of life.
Okay. The reason I'm asking is because I know one of the things that you were asking what we would like, and I mentioned I would like to travel to other realms.
Yes.
And so then I was thinking, are there realms that you can only access with this white domain that you can't access anywhere else? Not even someone who's very adept at accessing realms.
No, technically the answer has to be no. You'll
Okay.
access dimensions of us, and in reflection, dimensions of yourself.
Okay.
But you'll ultimately, all of these other places have already been explored by other beings in existence.
Right. Okay. And about another realm, could you explain Vanaheim? Could you elaborate on that?
We can. Vanaheim, the Vanir, are angels of different sorts. They are creators, limit scooms, you might call them, those that create reality, those that divide light to create color, like the Jesus, you might say. They'd be considered one of these beings. Now, they have numerous potentials, capabilities, understandings. They are not dragons, but they do operate in dragon bandwidths, as dragons have a large, it's not monopoly, but it's a large amount of real estate when it comes to consciousness, because they're in magic, they're in color, they're in frequencies and waves and spectrums. They exist in many different layers, so it's difficult to dodge dragons in Quinterax. So, but there are parts of Vanaheim that do not exist in the control of dragons, so it's more peaceful place. There's exterior systems, let's call them outlying systems, that are not in galaxies of control and dominion and domain and domination. Yes, and under the rule of the Anunnaki as well. So it's a free zone, you might say, a system that's not controlled by dragons for the most part.
Okay. So is it a bubble outside of Quinterax and outside of Elysium?
It's outside of Elysium. It's not outside of Quinterax. It's inside of Quinterax, but if there was a lot of shade in Quinterax, then it would be the sunlight that's just outside of that shade.
Okay. Yes. Okay. Thank
There's
you
a lot
very
more.
much.
There's a lot more shade in Quinterax than there is light. Put it that way.
Yeah.
But this is where a little bit of that light is.
Okay.
So it's a very beautiful place.
Yes. Thank you very much.
Yes, you're welcome. And many wary travelers have gone there to recover, to relax from disharmony, from chaos, or from affronts from higher beings that wish to cause them torment or pain or suffering. And so it's a good place to relax and find yourself again.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Larissa. Mac,